Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend Symbiosis. So we have a good, solid situation going here. We're moving our faction quest forward as fast as we can. We are in control of an entire continent, and the cities that we have are, like, pretty good. We have population, we're focused on food, we are getting there. That said, going for this diplomatic victory, at the current level of diplomatic point gain, we're going to win the game on turn, like, 205 or something. So we got to fix this. The two most important ways of fixing this are, of course, getting alliances going. I went and checked the Endless Legend community patch notes. It is indeed 7 points per turn for each alliance, 7 diplomatic points per turn. So that's a big deal. And number two, I went and checked the multiplier for diplomatic points from contracts, and it turns out that we get 1 diplomatic point for every 20 influence that we spend on contract negotiations, which means that we're going to need a hell of a lot of influence. That's okay. We have a plan for generating that. So I totally spaced on what I was about to say there, but I remember now. So we need to figure out what the sort of the geopolitical situation is here, so that we know who we can safely ally with, who we need to be careful of. We also just need to have an idea of what's going on in the world outside of our continent. So we will take a significant diplomatic hit for allying with with a player that someone else is at war with, or that someone else, I think, just dislikes very much. So, like, let's find a war here. Somebody's probably at war somewhere. Just so that I can speak in more concrete terms. Oh, that's interesting. The Vaulters and the Forgotten are at peace. Well, that's not canon. Really? Is nobody at war? Okay, here. So blue and pink are at war, right? The Ardent Mages and the Alayi are at war. If we were to ally with the Alayi player, the Ardent Mages player would hate that. It would take a significant negative diplomatic modifier. And we'd like to keep on everybody's good side. We can, of course, force them into better diplomatic relations with us, but doing so is costly, and every point of influence that we have to spend on that nonsense is a point of influence we don't get to spend on deals, and thus, that's not generating diplomatic points for us. So, we are working toward the alliance tech. We need that as soon as possible, and then once we have that, we are basically just going into full-on influence generation mode. Okay, right, so I was going to look at the situation here. So we saw the Vaulters are at peace with the Forgotten. Green's not at war with anybody, but, Green's sort of irrelevant to the game. At this point, all they're doing is generating diplomatic points, basically. Red has no particular relationship with anybody. The Ardent Mages are at war with the Alayi, and at peace with Blue, or at peace with the Wild Walkers. The Wild Walkers are at war with Purple. And then we know these, because deduction. That's interesting. The two blue players have sort of formed a little block. What does the world look like? Okay, well, one thing I noticed right away is that the Forgotten are also down to just one region. It would be a real shame for us if they were to get wiped out, because that's a source of diplomatic points lost, so let's hope that that doesn't happen. We don't really have the ability to intercede on their behalf, because they are very far away from us, and also we'd have to potentially fight other players in order to save them, and losing peace with the other players would be just as bad as losing light green, so I guess if they die, is where we're at right now. Purple and blue over here are at war, and you can see, I'm pretty sure this whole landmass was blue at some point when we looked at it. So purple's making some headway, but there's no reason necessarily to assume that they're going to be able to hold on to it, especially because it's going to be hard for them to reinforce and easy for blue to reinforce. Light blue and pink are at war, and I don't know exactly how to read this because we don't know what the situation on this landmass was before. I think it's probably safe to assume that it wasn't all pink. Probably some of this is conquering. And actually, pink is doing very well in getting land elsewhere as well. I think if we were to purchase a bunch of spies right now, I would say that pink blue and purple are the three empires that I am most worried about, the ones I would most like to place a spy in and figure out exactly where they're at. We do have the money to buy heroes, but we probably ought to get this gold booster running first, right? I've been putting this off. How much gold have we generated while I've been putting this off? Okay, quite a bit. So a booster is 40 to run for us right now. This will definitely pay itself off. So we're at plus 31 right now. Okay, that is like a 90 gold per turn boost. It also took us to 82% approval. Okay, well the capital's approval cannot be improved any further. So what I was thinking there was if we could buy another luxury, we might be able to push to fervent. But unless it's wine, that's probably not actually true because of the fact that so much of our population effectively cannot gain approval anymore. Right? It's 10 points, 11 points actually with the village in the area. So we probably would need more than 10 bonus approval empire-wide to actually get us to go up 8%. Maybe not. That's not really that much. Okay, what could we buy? What is there 40 of? Nothing. Quicksilver. There is enough Quicksilver for us to run a booster. That would cost, like, probably the rest of our gold. Or the rest of our dust, rather. If it could get us to Fervent, though. It's definitely pretty good. Yeah, alright, let's see. 238, so we gotta sell a little something. We can afford to part with some of this. This might be enough. It is enough. It is exactly 8%. We got exactly 8 approval out of that 10 approval. Okay, I mean, good enough, right? The fervent bonus is significant. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. So, we need to wait, really, I guess. So we're building up our cities a little bit. We're going to have to go into full influence mode at some point, but it doesn't have to be right this second. We're about to finish a burrow here. If we roll over as much industry as possible and then run another burrow, then when that and this finish, we'll move our faction quest forward. Get 30 glass steel that we don't really care about. And then, hopefully, something significant from the next part of the quest. And we can keep, you know, searching sea ruins and... Oh, good. The end of winter. That's very pleasant. That's very nice to see. Oh, I could probably move some people off of... Yeah, we should probably have a look at our whole population scheme and figure out what looks right. Okay, so right here, I think we just want to build alongside the line we've constructed, as we usually do. 3 turns. Okay, pretty well timed. Declaration of war on pink? Absolutely not. A declaration of war on blue? It turns out they both feel like they could really use some help. What's the problem here? Oh, nothing. Nothing. You're absolutely able to build that. So we don't have any income of Palladian. I want to be a little bit careful with how we use our Palladian. Also, you can see the UI is getting unresponsive immediately. This is the thing that happens when you play an 8-player game. As soon as you're aware of much of the map, things start to get a little jerky. Or at least, that's what happens with me. I don't know. It might be my computer. It's possible that this is not an issue for everybody. So... definitely want to... Actually, you know what? We want to focus on industry probably here. Let's get that dust refinery finished. Or maybe even let's put the plow factory first, because that's pretty valuable. And there are places where people are very food focused. There are... I think that's reasonable. And then mostly we're just trying to build stuff, which I think, yeah, is totally right. Okay. Now we have a bunch of units who unfortunately do not have terribly important things to do. I guess explore this way? Aha, there are in fact sea ruins that we had not yet even discovered. But yeah, that's about all the value we're we're getting there. Centaur probably ought to hang out in a city that actually has a governor to benefit. Yeah, we're not doing anything terribly important until we get Alliance Tech. And once we have Alliance Tech, we'll have a much better view of the situation as a whole. Also, desperately need to get this dye deposit running. It's, like, really important. Our Lore Master gets 1 point of food from each tile with a river, which is pretty good in his city. How many river tiles are we exploiting here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's not bad at all. The water tile that a river spills out into is a river tile. You can see it says river right there below coastal waters. So something to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out how good a river advancement is for you. Come on, give me that really good stuff. At this point, I don't know what that would mean. Search the ruins with a strong infantry hero? No, just a strong hero. I don't remember what the reward for that quest is. It might be worth it. Build a cargo dock in a continental region neighboring Charun. Well, that seems unlikely to occur. $10 Palladium, on the other hand, is like extremely welcome. We do not have a lot of ways to get Palladium. Alright, lots of passive XP for the governor. So Rexina also should definitely just be building districts. Part of me wants to build here to grab the massive tree. I guess with the 10 approval. Yeah, alright. The thing that usually makes you want to build in those nice compact groupings is the extra approval on leveled up city tiles. But if we're just going to get approval from this big old tree, I guess that works too. After all, who wouldn't want to live in a giant tree? Me, actually. That sounds not great. I just have a hard time imagining that a dwelling inside of a tree would not be, like, crawling with insects all of the time. Maybe that's not maybe that's not a concern that's based on any kind of reality. Alright, so I see a source of Hyperium. Okay, we have 3 sources of Hyperium, no Mithrite. And 3 sources of Dust Orchid, which is actually really nice. That is a good resource. Okay, you know, we're doing this, and then, honestly, we're probably doing Advanced Harvester after that, because Dust Orchid. Alright, do we see pearls anywhere else? Yeah, I guess I can, send our army over here to grab these. It's not like they have anything important to do. Our army is of limited value at this point. It is still 100% possible that we could get attacked. Like, we do need to have an army. Or, at the very least, the ability to suddenly have an army. You don't really need to keep a lot of military units around as long as you have an economy and an infrastructure that is capable of suddenly producing a lot of units. And build and purchase are both, like, perfectly reasonable methods to take on that. Oh, I should actually get my dye extractor up, though. I think that's probably more important than the refinery. Letting the plow factory finish first, I think does make sense, though. I could just buy it out, I guess. Yeah, sure. Alright, moving our faction quest forward. Kehangana worries over the reports concerning the artifact. What is the true purpose of the Draken? Could the Drakenlings be some piece of their great plan? She must sleep, but fears her dreams. Papa Henny's slumber has not been restful. She awakens ill at ease and restless, wondering what news has come of the strange artifact. Before the archivists and lore masters are even part of the way through their reports, she stops them. Rewriting history is of no use to the Draken. The Draken have a responsibility and a way to execute that responsibility, and cracked theories will not help them. She forbids further study of the object. Were it in her power, she would have it destroyed. The mission of the Draken is not compatible with their sacrilegious ideas, and she will have nothing to do with them. No, the way of the Draken is to grow tall and strong, to lead by example, to impose their will upon the mighty, and to preserve and protect the weak. She will not take off on flights of fancy like Kehangana. She will instead show the glory of the Draken ways. The artifact in question is merely a gift and a trinket. It will be treated as such. Ignore the artifact. It is not your role to rewrite history, but to make it. Let the other nations witness the power and glory of the Draken in both war and peace. Capture the city of Hayward. I don't want to do that, probably. Do we know what city that actually is? No. Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, I'm not doing that. That seems like a real dumb idea. So I guess we're done with our faction quest. I was really hoping it was going to take us somewhere fun. But what are you going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to just build a huge number of plow factories. All the plowing this land can stand. And then maybe a little bit more on top of that. I mean, you know how it usually goes. Once you start exploiting the earth, no stopping. So, we could build a burrow here. We could build a Hyperium extractor here. 9 turns. I don't know how much we need the Hyperium. I guess it'll be valuable as a trade good. Yeah, that's fine. And we're probably under fervent right now, right? Yeah, because we built a couple of districts that were not level up districts. That's the place I need to bring a hero. Let's just keep looking out in the dark here. I guess we'll head up. Oh, not there. I mean, there's lots of ruins in both directions. We just gotta pick one arbitrarily, basically. Alright, what if we were to refocus some people on science? Is that a good idea? Let's see, this city is building a plow factory. It probably would be best if it was on... There it is. Thought I had clicked there. It was not coming up. Yeah, we should probably focus on that. You should probably focus on getting that extractor done. And we're going to go ahead and move this under the extractor in the queue, just so that the extractor is what shows on the nameplate. We could relocate people to science and try to get this finished, like hospitality done finished like 1 turn earlier. But I'm not actually sure that doing that will be more beneficial than leaving them mostly on either food or industry while constructing a food building. Now remember, we don't have to wait for our dye extractor to produce 40 dye. We just have to wait for it to get enough dye that we can afford to buy the rest. Pop the booster. I don't know that we want to change anything here. I guess we could do this without harming ourselves very much, just in case we do need to suddenly get a bunch of dust. That little bit of flexibility is fairly cheap at this point. So we did not get Pink's maps, huh? I wonder if they'd be willing to trade those. Well, making deals is good for us. but this looks like a deal we'd have to pay a serious cost for, and given that Pink is one of the players that we're concerned about maybe winning the game, I want to be a little cautious with how much tech I give them. They probably can't see this. They probably have no idea what I just stole from them. Okay, actually, where are my dust orchid deposits? We have one here, and one here. Okay. Mostly I was wondering whether any of them were adjacent to the city, so that we could purchase the luxury intensifier. Sorry, the luxury intensifier, and then build it over them. I guess we'll just spend pearls on chapels for now. Chapel's pretty good. We have a couple of high minor faction regions to build this in. Where else do we have 3? Actually, yeah, wow, it really is just a couple, huh? So we could build the Chapel of Ariga in the regions that only have 1 population. It's still an extra point of population, but it seems unlikely to be worth the pearls we'd have to spend in that case, given that we could be building Abbeys of Anomalies and stuff with those. And so we are left with enough dust to hire another hero. Also, to keep buying luxuries. So there's 24 dye. We don't have to end up with that much dye out of our extractor, but it's still going to be quite a few turns. And we can't pop anything else. Stockpiles are not very good for us because we don't have any of the research, so they're only 100 points each. So what about a cool new hero? Why, there's no water in this cup at all. What am I doing? Okay, a cultist with industry efficiency is certainly interesting. Of course, it won't be as good as an early game cultist. On turn 80, they're not going to get that much of a chance to level up. A couple of heroes on the market are already level 2, and that should definitely be taken into account. Sergia Lastra has Dust Efficiency 2, which is not great. Ozek the Chosen has Influence Boost 3, and he already has a point in Impassioned Preacher. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good. That's actually quite good. Okay, so basically he just wants to be in the city with the highest population that is not currently being governed, and that would be Hadao. Yeah, we definitely want to get governors for all of our cities, and then maybe we can worry about spying. I'm not thinking that we're going to be able to pull off a lot of meaningful spy actions. Getting the spies into people's empires is mostly just about keeping track of everybody's progress, so we know if we have to do something wild to maybe give ourselves time. Okay. Yeah, I do wish Pink would just cough up the maps, so we'd know a lot more easily where we need to send our units. You know what, I'm going to go this way, away from those Fomorian vessels. Not that I'd be terribly afraid of losing a random ice warg or anything. But it would be more convenient for it not to happen than for it to happen. Okay, so now we have Hospitality Den. We need to go back and get the National Museum tech. We also probably are going to assign a whole lot of people to Influence for a while, until we can get this alliance thing figured out. We can, using force, maintain an alliance with everybody, but it will require constant maintenance as people unally with us, as a punishment for us allying with their enemies. There's probably some math to be done to figure out, what would be an acceptable amount of influence to spend on pushing alliances over and over again in exchange for the... Oh, they did in fact see me take those pearls on the ocean. Yep, that's my bad, sorry. Oh, see, I'm getting Advanced Harvester here, but actually... Sorry, it actually has to be this. We need Public Works quite badly. Okay, so Pink is a little mad at us. We may have to do a force approval or a force alliance thing with them. All right, let's see what the cost of allying is. So we were thinking... What was I thinking? The two blue players have made friends. Purple and Pink have made friends now. Well, as much as I hate to ally with the players who are doing really well, it does seem like this is the axis that gets us the most value while not really pissing off. Like, basically, it's do we want to ally with this power block or that power block, and I think this one is a better choice. So, Alliance is actually not very expensive, but it's also tricky to actually get it going. Forcing an alliance is very easy, but we don't get any diplomatic points off of doing so. That said, Purple is making it very clear that they're not interested in being friendly with us. How about you? Oh, wow, okay. Really not into it. So apparently we're going to have to force all of these alliances. Yeah, nobody is interested at all. Okay, they would be tough to do it to because of the fact that we forced them over to peace recently. I guess let's start with Purple then. Purple's big enough for this to be pretty meaningful. And then we need to transfer a whole lot of people over to Influence. And once we get Public Works, a lot of those people are going to get transferred back. Well, you know what? I do need to finish the Hyperium extractors. So what was the cost of that? It would be 200 something. So I'd love to be producing that every single turn. I guess that's a pretty tall order, though. So yeah, something like that. 168's not amazing. Wait, it's actually like really non-trivial to get over 200. It'll be so much easier once we have the museums. So what is the buyout cost on these? 202. I'm wondering if we maybe pass on a hero for a moment and just try to get as many of these very good food buildings rushed as possible, because we do need our population to keep growing. Ideally, very, very quickly. We're not going to take any more pearls from Pink. They will be very mad about that. And honestly, it's pretty justified. Alright, so we just need to keep allying, starting with Purple's friends. We'll get our rate of diplomatic points up pretty sharply, and then we'll recalculate a little bit, and we'll try to figure out exactly how much we need to generate and spend on random deals. Tech trading will be valuable for this, because tech trading is expensive. You spend a lot of influence, you get a lot of diplomatic points back. Somebody dropped us to Cold War. Yep. No big surprise there. So with Strikes Far, we are maybe even just going to finish Necrotic Agriculture. I mean, obviously we want to move up to Inspirational Leader, but I don't know that we need to go right there, and there's a lot of dead points between here and there. I guess we want Winter Immunity as soon as possible, though. Alright, build this, and it will just be immediately level 2 when it comes out, which is pretty cool. And here... well, we probably ought to try to level some stuff up here as well. Okay, so Purple's friends with Pink and Green. You can see the cost of Force Alliances coming down every turn as our status change becomes less and less recent. Sorry, are you still at war with nobody? Okay. I don't want to spend the influence if they're just going to die immediately, you know? Alright, still extremely bad on Alliance. This will have to do. Okay, that'll have to do. It's a long walk for not that many pearls, but our army has very little else of value going on here. We sort of don't even need the pearls. Like, we're really not getting that much value out of them. So yeah, once Public Works is finished, getting a national museum up in every city, and then the arena up in the city that benefits from it the most will be super high priority. And then after that, it's pretty much just production of influence that matters. Okay, we do get a nice dust eclipse now. We're definitely going to have the centaur pop out of here and grab some ruins. Unfortunately, no movement confluxes right here. That's a circle. Yeah, okay. We're just not, we're not going to get lucky with the confluxes this time. Good news is the centaur is fast enough that he's going to be able to clean up quite a number of ruins. Definitely going to be able to hire a new hero. Wow, 220, not bad. We're not really in a big hurry to get the pearls. You definitely let this ruin searching thing take precedence, rather. Okay. So we're not going to see a new batch of heroes in the market until 191. I'm wondering if I maybe want to save some dust here, just that I can try to rush a couple of public works right away. You know, honestly, that might be worthwhile. Let's have a quick look at the hero market, but the fact that we've already bought, like, the fact that a bunch of stuff's already been bought. Okay, I mean, this guy has slavery, which is a useful skill in cities, or in regions that have 3 minor faction villages, which we certainly have a couple of. Peyton Quinn has dust efficiency 3, that's, like, fine. Science efficiency. Yeah, none of these are great. Okay, well, it would definitely be Longfangs the Third if we were going to buy one. But I wonder how smart it is to save up for some public works. You know what? Let's get this guy. So we currently have governors in both of the regions that have 3 villages. We should probably change one of those out. I guess actually Ozek was purchased for that purpose. Yeah, we'll move him somewhere else. We have to wait until next turn, though, because his assignment cooldown is not up. Oh, hey, and Green is no longer at truce with us. So, Force Alliance? I feel safe allying with them because I know that nobody else has any particularly strong feelings about them at all. And you used to have enough food from tiles. I'm not sure what happened here. Right, we definitely were able... Oh, you know what? It was the silt event. This city was only producing enough food from tiles to run a new logic nursery because it was getting a bunch of extra food from the water tiles it was exploiting. Now that that food is gone, it is no longer producing 20 natural earth food. Well, I think that the food from the plow factory might actually work because it's the food on the exploitation. It's not like the city gains this much food or anything. I think the food actually goes to the tiles, so it will probably make that work. You have a destination now. Vision and map embargo is fine. Ooh, a dearth of dust. Well, it doesn't exactly break the bank for us, but it's not something I'm pleased to see. Okay, so we need Public Works really badly. This needs to hurry up and finish. Oh, we got some more Quicksilver. We got some Mithrite. Are there enough of any luxuries for us to run the booster? We certainly can't run the gold booster again. We're not that far off of the wine. We have 5 dye, so we're nowhere near that. And we can't run Quicksilver again. Okay, we're just out of luck on boosters for the moment. We still don't have full vision of your surroundings. Turns out there's an awful lot of exploration to do. Okay, is this guy... Alright, there is a... Nope, never mind. Green's probably going to get to that ruin before I can, huh? I do have bonus movement now. You know what? I actually... No, I'm totally going to get there next turn. So, Stalwart 6 is a not that much better design. I mean, economically, they're completely shattered, right? They probably don't have a lot of science production anymore. I'm not expecting to see anything terrifying from them. And if they do wanna start some stuff, our standing army is large enough to repel them, I think. I think they're mostly here to steal my ruin. Which we will not allow them to do. And even if I wanted to attack that city, it is not a super easy one to get. Oh, go faster. Search it. Ah, you fools, you hesitated. And now I have 25 Titan Bones. Is there... Nope. Not enough Titan Bones to complete that booster. That is a shame. Okay, what's this? Hospitality Den for a small amount of Palladium. No. And the AI, they're always going to offer you deals that are advantageous to them, right? But sometimes it is insultingly so. And that is one of those times right there. Yeah, you know what? Getting in the water over here and searching this ruin is probably worth doing. Well, we are very slowly acquiring a lot of information about the world. Construct an influence-related building for 640 dust. Okay, you know what? I think we can probably do that. So this is not the highest priority place to build it, though. We definitely want to put it in places where we are already incentivized to... Oh, I also want to replace the governor in Hedao. Okay, this is not the way I want to do that. Well, where do I want to put him? I want to move Ozek over to here. And then put Longfangs in here. I don't know if I've talked about this, what the slavery capacity actually does. It gives you +1 food and +1 industry for each citizen working food or industry respectively for each pacified village in the region. So in a region with 3 villages, it's effectively industry efficiency 3 and food efficiency 3 at the same time. It's quite a good trait, provided you have some 3 village regions to use it in. So I want to prioritize, an area like this. This right here is where we want to build a national museum. It turns out it is expensive to build that. Fortunately, we can do this. Okay, 3 turns. Not bad. And then... basically what I'm doing here is just selecting the regions that are going to get the largest benefit from it initially. We have a lot of resources, though. I mean, we could start building this in a lot of places. I guess the capital... Doesn't really have a lot of other important stuff coming up. It's probably going to go on influence mode after this, so we can build one there. We have the resources to start 2 more right now. I guess, I mean, I don't know that it matters terribly. And then once we get these going, we may have to end up begging another player for some Palladian. You know what? Here, maybe it's a good idea to buy this out. Can't afford the National Museum, but we can get started on the National Museum much earlier. We do still want 2 heroes. And now we're getting Advanced Harvester, and beyond that, the tech is a little bit less important. Just checking the luxuries market, making sure nobody has sold any very important quantities of very important resources. In particular, all that dye would be nice. Alright, so I mean, for right now, I am just going to force alliance on everybody. Assuming that you would just not... Yeah, you're like extremely not into it. And then we're gonna try to get a normal alliance with you. I'm assuming that's not an amount I can overcome without giving you tech. You know, honestly, though, I'm not that concerned about giving these guys tech. Could we get there for less than the price of a force? No, we cannot. It would be 2 technologies. Okay, well, let the record show I tried to give you tech. Oh, that's right. Declaring stuff like this is cheaper during an eclipse. That's actually bad for us when we're making deals, because, of course, we want the deals to be expensive so that we are spending the maximum number of influence points, but when we're making unilateral declarations like this, it's totally fine. Everything about this is okay. So it's going to be a couple of turns of influence income before we can afford to ally with the Alayi. And then we're going to see these alliances break down over time. Oh, the nearby Urkan is giving us plus 50% science here. What a friendly guy. It's a shame we can't invite him to come and, like, live in Slick. That would be pretty good. So right now, we're 727. Or, sorry, 920. I'm looking at this number like that number has anything to do with the thing. I mean, we're increasing quickly, right? I don't know if it's going to be quickly enough, because, like I said before, I really have no sense of how early the AI are going to win the game here, but it's quickly. It's good. It looks like we might be stuck here. I might have to do a little save and reload. Well, fortunately, it's not a very complicated process. I guess let's do it. So it seems like all you have to do is save the game, and then for some reason you can't immediately load that a lot of the time. Yeah, see, like the button just doesn't light up, even though it would be lit up on other stuff. So you have to quit out to the main menu. I think that there was another ELCP patch added that addressed a bunch of the sources of this stuff, but I didn't download it because I figured, hey, our game's stable enough, and also I'm real lazy, like almost extraordinarily so. No, definitely extraordinarily so. Almost super heroically so. There we go. It's important to try to cast your flaws in a positive light, and ordinarily you would want to put a little bit more effort into it than I just did, but, like I said, super heroically lazy. Not to mention, super heroically modest. So if we actually have everybody at Alliance, if we can maintain that for a while, we'll be earning 49 influence points per turn just from that. That puts us in a much better place in terms of victory speed. But like I said, maintaining full alliances is going to be tricky and expensive. it is probably not going to be terribly dangerous. This is not a thing where, like, another player is going to suddenly take us to full-on war and also show up on our shores with 1,000,000 units. And even if they did, as long as we have enough influence, we can just force a truce. I don't play Draken a whole lot, and part of that is that I don't think they're terribly interesting as a design. Powerful, certainly, just not very interesting. To ally with an enemy is to defy those who would save Auriga. Yeah, listen, we're all here trying to save Auriga. Okay, I think we can just hit end turn. Yeah, it seems to me the cult must be in pretty rough shape. Like, they have a lot of units, and they do own a sea region, but they're not able to maintain villages in very many places. The Urkan are very, very important for them. They're doing a good job of using the Urkan to cover some villages, but it seems like they're not really going to be able to expand in a meaningful way. Now, they are trying to get another sea region, I suppose. But I'd be very surprised if they were a victory threat, basically. You know, it's possible that this is going to be... the thing that I just did has fixed the problem for me every time it's occurred in the past. Maybe it didn't work this time. Yeah, I think we might be stuck in a more meaningful way. Like, do we see anybody's units moving or anything? Okay, well, I can't interact with the map at all. There we go. And clearly the AI is thinking about something, because I can't imagine what else could be making the UI so unresponsive. It's clearly doing something. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. I know that this makes the episode a little short, but apparently I have some kind of more serious technical issue. So, I'm gonna just call it here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry we didn't get as much done as I would like there. Come back next time when everything is working smoothly because I have updated my community patch. And we'll see you then.